Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday at 8:30. Welcome. We made it. Another Friday. I don't know what that means anymore because tomorrow is Saturday, I understand, and it'll be just like Friday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are coping with being at home. I hope you are enjoying this time. I hope you're finding some joy in it. My name is Jeremy Webb. I'm the Artistic Director of Neptune Theatre, and this is Off the Leash. Neptune's way of staying in touch with you all. For the last 5 or 6 weeks now, we've been doing the show Tuesdays to Fridays, and I'm thrilled to welcome another set of great guests tonight. I wondered what it would be like to be in isolation with my parents or my mother. My dad would be weird because he's not been around for quite a while. And I don't even know I'm going to get that answer tonight from T. Thomason because I understand that there might be separate buildings involved. But let's bring our guests in, a creative family, still being creative, I'm sure, and working in these difficult times. And let's have a chat. So welcome to the studio, T. Thomason, Shelley Thompson, and Ed Thomason, a whole family. I can't look at that. How are you all?
Good.
Very well. Very well.
Yeah. And what's entertaining is that two of you, at least, I know, are in the same building. T, where are you? Are you in the same vicinity? Are you in the vicinity?
Yeah, I'm like 5-minute drive down the road, but I came back from Toronto, so I'm isolating for 2 weeks before I go to their house. Yeah.
When is that up?
Wednesday.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
Yeah. I'll tell you if she's excited.
Mom, oh, come on, you're excited.
Did I make that face out loud?
Yeah, you might have. That's the problem with having an actor for a mom. They let you know every.
They emote.
They emote a lot, I'm sure.
To the back of the room.
So, Ed, whereabouts are you geographically? Just update.
Well, we're in Wolfville.
Yep.
We've returned to Wolfville from Dartmouth, and yeah.
Look at that. Did
Talking beforehand, and we have to say we feel very fortunate in the weird times that you've already mentioned.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we are all lucky, and in fact, from the way that the curve seems to be staying down the other side, except for those poor sweet souls at Northwood who are still fighting every day. It does seem like this has worked to a large degree. I'm no expert. That's on my part. Shelley, how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's been a really it's been an interesting time, and I think I guess God bless Facebook during this time because we've been able to see how other people are doing, but it's been quite an up and down time because there's been so much sadness in Nova Scotia, so many peculiar losses. I'm not going to go all, but it has, it's been hard. I think we all started this period, or most of us started this period with a sense of, okay, we're going to make this time count, and we're going to learn how to make sourdough bread, and, and then we got bumped with a couple of really sad bumps that were kind of hard to maneuver through. But yeah.
It has made it extra tough, I think, for the people of this region. Ed, just so you know, your internet seems to be getting a little flaky on you. So if you have trouble, log out and log back in again, and we'll cover for you.
I can do about that. I could just go and join Shelley because
just run upstairs.
Because she's closer to our router. I'm in the basement. I'm in my bat cave. So I'm.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Okay.
Bring your computer. Bring your computer and sit in the piano room. Just walk upstairs with it.
Yes. Okay. I'll be right with you.
Log off. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll
log right.
I can hang
on.
There.
We knew that. Yeah, when you were going to happen, right?
What, Teddy?
I said, this is what you get when you do a family show. This is the realities of family Zoom calls.
Yeah.
True.
Oh my God, this is nothing. We had a family Zoom call with like 14 people.
Oh, man.
It's insane.
It was so funny because like 2 of them could not get their audio working, and I don't even know if they could hear us. But then they were like calling someone else who was on the Zoom, so we could hear them through the phone, through the other person's thing, and see them, but not hear them. Oh man, it was just like a lot.
But I think that's actually the way that most business meetings at this time are going as well. You seem to spend 95% of the meeting checking out the living room of your colleagues, and then the rest of the time wondering if they're actually wearing pants in the meeting. Wondering if this is are they drinking water at 2:00 in the afternoon, or have they poured a gin and tonic?
True.
We will never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's Ed. He's
gone to get a chair.
Well, yeah, you should let him sit on something. So,
really?
just this once, Shelley. Just this once. So, well, let's talk while Ed's settling himself.
Too shocking.
I feel, and I don't want to freak you out with this, any of you, but I feel like I've known you for a long time. I have, and I did a little skim through some photos today myself. You kindly sent me.
Man.
And don't worry, T, you're safe.
No, I feel like my favorite picture of my dad is with you, and I really hope that you found it.
Oh, I hope so too. Yeah, it probably is. But I want to talk about Shelley and Ed pre me knowing you. But first, I just want to. But I feel like I've worked with you both so many times because Ed, you were the artistic producer at Festival Antigonish for a large number of years.
And a lot of years, yeah.
And you were kind enough to hire me for a whole bunch of those, so thank you. And then poor Shelley had to put up with me on stage. Shelley, you actually played my mom, which is funny because I think we're not that different in age, to be honest.
No.
There we are.
Aww.
That's us fighting over. That's Humble Boy.
So cute.
Oh my God, I love that shirt.
Yeah.
I had that shirt for the longest time.
Really good. And just so that Ed doesn't feel left out with the photos with Jeremy section, there was that show where you had to shoot me while I was dressed in a clown suit. There's a picture of me acting. Look at that. Look at the intensity there.
Suitably scared.
Yeah, very scared. But Ed, do you remember shooting me in the back of the head for real every night?
I knew you were going there with this.
No, Jeremy, it eludes me.
Really? Oh, don't make me tell the story.
No. Yeah. But I remember other things from that show. It was
what else do you remember? What else do you remember?
Yeah.
What else do you remember?
What else do I remember? I remember Bob Metcalf giving us the gears, and
Bob Metcalf,
lovely director. Yeah. And I remember Jeremy's teeth.
Oh yes, not my real teeth, the fake ones.
What was special about his teeth?
Well, he had a prosthetic.
Oh God!
Yeah.
The play is Sleuth that we're talking about, directed by Bob Metcalf, and really well directed by Bob Metcalf. Actually, he terrified me, which was a good thing. Yeah, I had to the character had to disguise himself within the play, and I seem to remember we got quite proud of the fact that the audience thought it was another actor, so they also fell for the disguise. I didn't bring a picture of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you also kindly directed The Woman in Black. There's Andrew.
Yeah.
Wow, Jeremy! Holy cow!
All right, that's
what a baby.
I don't know what year that was. Probably 2007 or something like that.
And you know what? I used to hide behind like a bush outside the theater. And then Mom would come and stand, because Mom played the Woman in Black, and she would come and stand in the parking lot and scare people as they came out of the theater.
That was the best thing.
Yeah.
I think of everything I ever did at Festival Antigonish. My favorite thing was to walk out into the parking lot, and people would come out of the theater and go, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It was
And then
so
they
fun.
planted me, so every night I would hide in the bushes and I would scream like.
Well, because the whole premise of the play is that if you see the woman in black, the ghost, then your firstborn will die, which is really bleak. Now I come to think about it. But so Shelley would go and stand under a lamppost or out in the parking lot. So the audience were all like, "Oh, well, that was scary. That was a bit spooky. Oh my God!" And then they would see the woman in black.
I love it.
It was carrying the play on. Now, as you know, we've scheduled that show to be in next season. Fingers crossed we'll still be bringing it. So you can fully expect there to be an actor out on Argyle Street doing the same thing.
I'll scream if you want, Jeremy.
Yeah? Okay, there you go. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family. So, there's a couple more photos I just want to show here. So there's us.
Oh, there's Jan.
Jan.
Oh my God, is that good things?
That's good things.
Good
Yeah.
thing.
Everyone's
I was so slim.
So was I.
That was Jeremy. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Look at us. So was Jan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I haven't seen Jan for years, so I can't say that
he's handsome as ever.
He's great, but he's not that slim.
So, okay, we'll carry on with the reminiscing a little later. So, Shelley and Ed, let's find out, how did you two meet? Now that you're together in the same screen, you have to tell.
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you when I first saw Shelley. I used to go down to RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, to direct a show, usually in the summertime. And the principal then was a guy called Hugh Crutwell. Very nice guy, very practical and good to work for and with.
Just quickly, where is that and how old are all the people going to that school? Just for context for everybody watching.
Well, I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now.
But it's a university in London.
Yeah,
well, it is a university now.
It's a drama school.
Drama college. Yeah.
You know, and for a long time it was the drama school. I mean, it's got
it still is.
a very distinguished alumni list. Anyway, he asked me to direct a play by Harold Pinter called The Collection. And the thing about doing drama school plays is that, you know, a lot of the characters in the plays are kind of adults, and the drama students are usually in their early 20s or even younger. And I was concerned about the casting of the wife in The Collection. And at RADA, they used to have like two buildings back to back, and you had to get from one building to the other up fire escapes, very ornate Victorian type fire escapes. And I was walking up with Hugh, and I said, by the way, who's going to play the wife, you know, because it's pretty crucial. And he said, oh, that's going to be Shelley Thompson, and she's just coming up the stairs behind you. So I was walking up with him, and I looked over my shoulder. I saw Shelley, and I thought, oh, great, you know. And I just said, yeah, she'll do. And you know, little did I know. That's how we met. We worked together that summer.
And he said to me on our first date, we went out for a glass of wine, and I said something like, so, you know, what, like,
who are you?
Who are you, and what are you doing here? And he says, well, I could say my wives don't understand me. And at that point I thought, oh, expletive. And then had to, that was in my final term at the Royal Academy, and my mum was coming over to see the final shows and stuff. And I thought, wow, I'm going to have some explaining to do here on this.
What a line, Dad. What a line.
Yeah. No, it was a very poor line, but it was somewhat intriguing. So there you go.
Have you not heard that story before, T?
I've heard that one, but I hadn't heard this coming up the stairs.
Oh yeah, right. So tell me, where in the chronology does this photo come into it?
Oh, that's that's in Alberta. And that was
our blessing.
Our blessing. We had a register office
wedding
in
Putney on a rainy day. Yeah. And in fact, I was working at the Bristol Old Vic at that time, which was where you went to drama school, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And that was 1985.
There you are.
No, and there I am.
Which one are you?
At the stage. And that guy standing next to me, Richard Bates, is Teddy's godfather.
Oh.
When was this?
What's that?
When was this?
That was in 1985, because that production was taking place when your dad and I got married. And the Bristol Old Vic, I had to negotiate a day off right in the middle of rehearsals to go get married. And
Jeremy in that production? Did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
The Bristol Old Vic is also a very reputable school, like the Royal Academy, and so the theater is right there. And I think sometimes they use students in the theater there too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I trolleyed off back to London. We got married in the registry office, and we came back to like a 2-star hotel in Bristol for our wedding night. It was pretty.
Wow.
Yeah.
I having spent a lot of time in Bristol a few years, so I was on that same stage about 8 years later as a Bristol Old Vic student. So I followed you a few years later, of course, no clue that there was anyone that I would learn later in Canada. I hadn't even heard of Halifax or Wolfville or anywhere at that point. But
neither had I.
Right. Yeah. And a couple of British guys coming over here. So Shelley, you then went into Me and My Girl. Was that after the Bristol experience?
Oh, yeah. Quite shortly after that, because I think that was 1986.
I'm going to show a photo. I wanted to know I'm going to show a photo now.
Uh-oh.
No, that's okay. It's one of yours. I mean, you put it on social media, but I just wanted you to be.
Oh, yeah. That was such a great job. Oh my God, I got so fit because we were in the Adelphi Theatre.
Yeah.
And the Adelphi, we were at the top of the theater. My dressing room, they basically cleaned out a broom closet for me because I came into the second cast. So I followed Emma Thompson and not Anne Rytel, Robert Lindsay.
Robert Lindsay.
Oh yes.
I was the second cast. And I was in with Tony Slattery. I don't know if you remember Tony.
My God, yeah.
Yeah, so Tony was my love interest in that show. And he and I were put in little teeny weeny dressing rooms on the very top floor of the Adelphi. They literally were broom closets that they'd cleaned out. And it was, oh God, I don't know how many sets of stairs. Anyway, I used to run up and down from my dressing room to the stage because there was only one lift, and the lift was always packed with the chorus were on the floor below me, and it was always like the joke was, how many members of the chorus can they get into the lift without the lift breaking down, which it did a couple times actually, which not with me in it, thank God. But yeah.
Wow. Wait, like on the way to the stage, like with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no,
that was not funny.
There were 1 or 2 production numbers as well to help you stay fit. It wasn't just running up and down the stairs.
Oh yeah, I did. I learned to tap dance for that.
Yeah, there was a bit of work in that show, I'm sure.
Oh my God, yeah, I was so fit. I've never been that fit since.
So. We're gonna get to you chronologically in a second, T.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be all about you. But for the moment, so Ed, how did you end up coming here? What was the decision there?
I just followed Shelley. I'm just going to get the order what I was. I mean, when we got married, I was working for the BBC,
Right.
so I got that 2-star hotel on my expenses because, yeah, I went down and had a meeting with my colleagues
Andy.
at the BBC in Bristol.
That's
awesome. Yeah, so when in that year I had just left the Belgrade in Coventry, where I was the artistic director for 6 years.
You left in 1980, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
in 1980. And yeah, so I was kind of free, and Shelley wanted to go back to Toronto, even though she was she was a Western gal from Calgary in Alberta, but she wanted to make it big in Toronto, so off she went to Toronto. And we had so that was like a kind of a long distance phase of our relationship. And then I had nothing else to do in January the following year, so I just went over there. And I was very fortunate to get a couple of jobs with CBC TV.
Yeah.
And so we're talking early 80s now in Toronto. I only got that job because of Shelley, not because she knew somebody there, but I'd started writing scripts at that point, and I'd written, here's a name that might take you back a bit. Do you remember Susanna York?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote a little telly script with Susanna York in mind. And when I was with Shelley that January, we were in Toronto, and I had it, this was in the days when you used to have to go and get things photocopied.
Right.
So I only had my script, my typescript, and we went into downtown Toronto to get it photocopied. And we were on Bay Street, and Shelley said, "Oh, look, this is the CBC TV. Why don't you go in?" And I said, "Oh, I can't do that." And then I remembered that I knew somebody who was pretty high up in TV drama. Anyway, so in I went, pushed by Shelley. And yeah, I got 2 jobs. I wrote a film script, a TV film script for them, and I directed a TV film for them. And by then, Shelley had decided it wasn't good enough to be doing work in in Toronto. She did some very interesting work. She was in the original production of Tamara, which was one of the first immersive theatre. You followed the cast around a big house, and it was a huge hit in Toronto, and then it got put on in LA. Anyway, even though she was doing that kind of work, she wanted to go back to London and see if she could cut it there.
Right.
So I had my taste of Canada then, and like you, I knew nothing about Halifax or the East Coast or anything. But I certainly liked Toronto. But anyway, we went back to London.
We were there for year until 1995, until the Atlantic Theatre Festival, basically, and then we came back here. But we came on holiday first.
Yeah.
And fell in love with it, and then
yeah. And so that's why you sort of made your base in Wolfville when you first came? So when you came back for ATF, and at that point it was Michael Bawtry.
Yeah.
Sort of raising the tent, as it were, or the ice rink. And you got involved.
Yeah, but we came to Wolfville because my brother lived here.
Oh, so yeah.
We came on holiday, fell in love with Wolfville. My brother said, "Oh, there's somebody here you should meet." We met them. It was Michael. And then the next year, and Teddy still wasn't on the scene yet. And they said, "Oh, we're thinking of building this theater." And then I had just finished at that point at the National Theatre in the UK, and Michael was interested in that and keen for me to audition should they ever do ever get it going. And so then they did, and so I auditioned for Michael Langham a year and a half later, just after Teddy was born.
Right,
came back that summer, and that's when we sort of started our real living here, which was in 95.
So Teddy was born in Sidcup in Kent.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've heard of it. Sidcup. Wow.
Anytime I'm in the UK and I do a show and I say I'm from Sidcup, no one cheers.
Ah,
Probably a reason. You should go and check it out and see what it's really like.
I think I drove through it actually when I was there last, and it's like, you know, a road.
Little Kentish town.
Yeah.
So T, tell me, I mean, really, you didn't have a hope in hell of avoiding some kind of performance in your life. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, you were screwed from the moment you were born.
Yeah.
Because these two transient hoopers who just moved around the world following that lifestyle. What are your memories of watching them? I mean, I know I've watched you watch them through childhood. It must have been a mixture of cool and frustrating to have these parents out of the theater every night, especially when they're in a show together.
Yeah.
Which they have done numerous times. Like, for example, there they go. Look at them. It's like
that's my Alan Arkin. My Alan Arkin look.
Yeah, that's your Patrick Stewart. That's what that is.
Oh,
yeah. And I think that was directed by our darling friend Jean Moore-Purgo.
Yes. Sweet Jean. What was it like?
It's here.
Do you have memories of like early childhood of being dragged around to the theater? And
yeah, well, actually, it's funny. I was thinking about that today because I'm in the Valley right now, and I was on a big walk today, kind of by accident. But anyway, as I was walking, I passed by like a chicken farm, and there's like a big building, like a big like place, I guess, where they hold like all the eggs or stuff, like a processing kind of thing. And it reminded me that at one point when we were living in Wolfville, Mom and Dad were running a theater company called Willpower.
Oh, yes.
And they had an office that was like in a chicken building, like in an egg building or something.
Yeah.
And it smelled so bad.
We had so many candles lit.
Oh, I hated going there because it smelled so bad.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Like,
Ed never went there. I went there because we kept all the
props and everything. And like sometimes I would have to go with Mom because like there was nothing, like Dad was working I don't know, like I was an only child, so I'd have to go everywhere with them. And I just would spend hours in this like place that smelled like chickens and like surrounded by like fake swords and stuff like that. And just being like crying and being like, I don't want to go. Like it smells so bad. And being like, I want to play with the swords, but I was like never allowed to play with the swords.
That is not true. You were always allowed to play with the swords. Don't you dare fib.
Oh, well, I feel like it took some convincing, and then I was allowed to play with the swords.
Yeah. I have a couple of. So go ahead.
Oh, my favorite memory is, were you in the season of theater or Festival Antigonish when they did Sexy Laundry? Were you there when they did that?
I don't think I was.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
I think, Dad, did you direct that?
No, Bob Metcalf.
No, Bob Metcalf directed.
You were in it, Mom, and it was you and Stuart Arnott, right?
Yeah.
So it's about a couple that's like their marriage is falling apart and they're trying to get it back together through like trying out different like sexual things, I guess.
Yep.
And I came home and I didn't know this, obviously. Like I knew that the play was called Sexy Laundry, but I didn't know much about it. And I was in like maybe late middle school, early high school. And I came home and like in the kitchen, on the kitchen table, there was like a leather bustier and a leather hat and a whip just chilling. And I was just like, and I just didn't like know what to do. So I just kind of like looked at it and was like, and there was just like no explanation. I was like, okay, like cool. I guess like they forgot to put that away or something. Like I'm scared.
In the world of theater, though, T, as you know, actors are not supposed to take the props and the costumes home.
Jeremy, I have not really like gotten into that.
That's not normal.
Well,
let's not go there.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, I was like, okay, and I just didn't say anything about it, and I just never said anything about it. And I was just like, that was really weird. Oh God. Like
you saw the first night.
I was like, I feel so embarrassed that they left their stuff out and I found it, but like, guess we're never going to talk about it. And then I went to the theater on the first night of the show, and then my mom came out on stage wearing all of it in front of the whole town. And I was like, okay, that's cool. No warning. Like, that's fine.
Okay, so it has had an impact.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, you know, Jeremy's responsible for me getting on stage in front of the whole town with not even a bustier on.
Oh, the fig leaf?
With just a fig leaf.
I did do that. I did do that. And why did I do that?
I feel like I blocked that out because I vaguely remember, but it's not.
Well, funnily enough, I happen to have a video clip of that. No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
I told you I was in the post office one day after that production, and a woman I was lining up, and a woman walked by me who I obviously knew a lot of people by sight, and she walked behind me, and then she looked over her shoulder and said, "Hey, nice ass," and just kept walking. Yeah, that's what you have to put up with in a small town.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't even remember whether that was in the script. I think it was in the script. I don't think I.
Oh yeah, the
yes,
fig leaf. Yeah, it was.
Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you what else is in the script, but I'll censor it.
Yeah, but don't forget, you chose the script as artistic producer. And gave it to me to direct.
The guy was meant to be, do you remember this, Jeremy? The guy was meant to be wearing a sock as like a codpiece. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And thank God you decided
I changed it to a fig leaf.
Yeah.
A fake big fig leaf.
That would have been so intense. I don't know if Andy Ganesh could have handled that, to be honest.
No.
I mean,
maybe now, but not then.
Maybe not then. T, I don't want to embarrass you, and I'm not going to, but I have a memory of you participating in a show that I directed, a musical. And can you tell me which one it was?
There was a few, like definitely Wizard of Oz.
Right.
I was a town father.
One of my sweetest memories of you was I gave you a solo line. I wanted you to take a solo line.
Okay.
And this is amusing to me now, knowing what you do for a living and how you've exploded somewhat. You refused it. You didn't want it. You didn't want a solo line, and I think I went to Ed or Shelley and I said, refusing the line. What do I? And I just, it'll happen. It'll happen. I think you did it in the end, but for the longest time you were just like, no, go on it.
That's so funny. Was that in Wizard of Oz?
I don't remember because did you?
Godspell. Do you remember God? Did you do Godspell?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I had a solo in Godspell.
And it was that one.
Yeah.
And it was
if I could just interject for a moment, when you were saying that he was ruined from the get-go, that's not quite true. That you didn't do stuff early on.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
No, the breakthrough was, do you remember when you did
Seussical?
Yeah, Seussical the musical. And the director,
that's what you call young, because that was Draco.
Yeah, but the director of that show called us and said you'd done a great audition and that but we can't forget about when I played Ulysses in grade 5 in Uncle Ross's musical about the Trojan horse. Oh yes, we can.
Yeah.
I hope
anyway. I remember my solo from that musical, and I remember auditioning for it, and I remember it was so exciting because I was going to play this strong man.
Yeah,
I was so stoked.
But you were the kid when we went to go and see the school concert or whatever, and everybody was in their best bib and tucker, and they'd be choreographed onto the stage and so on. T would always be looking for us and waving, which you're not,
or crying.
You're not supposed to do, So he didn't have the kind of the etiquette down. He
still do that now.
What you still do that now?
Yeah.
You even cry?
Maybe not. I don't cry as often.
I also remember going to, I think it was actually at Ross's house or somebody's house in Wolfville, going to a party. And T, you were very young. By young, I mean probably under 12, so young, or that age group. And Shelley getting everyone sitting in the living room, and you came out with a guitar and started playing.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, this is a long time ago. And I remember I was there with a group of people, other actors, whatever, and we're like, oh, this is going to be cute. And oh, wait a second. Wow. And so very early on, you were getting these you were doing house concerts before house concerts were a thing.
Yeah. Enterprising.
You were very enterprising. I don't even remember where that party was, Shelley, but I do remember that. And so then, parents, let me ask you, so now here we are with this kind of, and we've got to talk about that too in a second, when you appeared on the launch a year or so ago. And even I am trying to get you at my theater. What's it like for now as parents? You've nurtured and you've watched this young person grow and perfect a craft, and now actually achieve some success. I know you're proud, but what is it? How does it make you feel?
Should I go first? I find him an inspiration. The way, his talent is obvious, that, but what
his father.
What isn't obvious is the application, the kind of the 10,000 hours. And I, as somebody who is in a similar business, not the music business, we're both performers. The way he goes about it, the craft, the business, the dedication, and the industry is phenomenal. And I'm really proud of that. I mean, I'm obviously proud of what everybody else sees and hears. We all have that response. But that's because it's a hell of a difficult business that he's in,
and changing every second. And now with, I think
Shelley doesn't want me to get a big head when I move in to her house.
No, I don't. I feel like I'm the one that always is going, but
I think that's a mother's job.
Of course I'm hugely proud. And I think the music industry is such a hard place. I mean, all the performing arts are hard, but I don't know, the music industry is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think to keep your head is pretty, is pretty great. That was a nice picture. That was a very
yeah.
That was a very nice picture. Very nice night that night. We both had films at Finn.
Yeah.
So we felt very glamorous.
My hair.
I know. I love your hair.
It looks like Dad, but isn't Dad.
It's good hair.
It's great hair. I miss those curls so much.
Shelley, I think I'm going to get into trouble for showing this picture.
Uh-oh.
But because we're in isolation and you can't get to me, you'll probably forget that I showed it.
I quite like that picture.
I like it too.
Who took that picture?
I did.
It's a selfie.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it's at one of your concerts. Yeah.
That was at the Brett Kissel show.
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah.
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 So, Shelley, I just want to touch on this. These shows, I just feel like we can sit and chat for the longest time. We've got to wrap it up at some point soon, but I do want to touch on some of your work as well, Shelley. And then I do want to end the show by playing one of T's songs for everyone. If you are one of the people that has not yet heard T. Thomason, you must check him out. And I'm going to help you by playing you. Is it the new one? Is it the new one?
This is the newest video that has come out. Yeah, and there was a new version with Rose Cousins of the song that came out. But
great. Okay. I'm gonna play that to end with. But Shelley, every now, you've been prolific on so many stages in film and TV. I'm going to talk in a second about your move into directing and how the success you're having with that, which is very exciting. Also, though, this person came into your life. Bob Leahy of Park Boys.
Wow, where did you find that? That's cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's a piece of fan art, and I actually tried to find the guy who drew that. To ask if I could use it somewhere, just because I love the colors of it and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that was a long gig.
Yeah, and has that ended for you now? Is
Yeah.
I found this lovely photo that I just want to bring up. This is a photo the AFTRA Awards a few years ago. And there's you and John. I think my memory, I actually took this photo. My memory is that you won awards for different things.
Mm-hmm.
But coincidentally, there you are with your long-standing screen husband.
My hubby. I still cannot believe he's gone.
No.
It just feels bizarre to me that John Dunsworth is dead. I just can't.
No, it's one of those things. I'm looking to the side here because I'm trying to find another photo that I know I have. It's one of those things that you just don't want to believe. And there you are.
Yeah.
Two of you. So sweet man.
So sweet. Man.
But that was a big part of your life for a few years there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juggling schedules to film and do plays at the same time, and
yeah. Oh my God, the schedule juggle was so real. I remember that.
But then, so then you get into you've not recently, but you've been building a career as a film director. Tell me a little about that. How did that all kick off?
Trying to. Through the generosity of my husband, actually, I was able to go to Toronto. Well, take the time, basically, through him sort of being prepared to completely support me for over a year while I went off to the CFC, which is the Canadian Film Centre in Toronto, which was great. And because I actually went there on scholarship, was lovely. But that was sort of consolidating a feeling I'd had for ages that I really wanted to write scripts. And I had been writing scripts for the stage, but yeah, I was really interested in film scripts. And so I went and did that. And that was a really interesting experience. And, we figured, because you'll know the same thing, that from in front of the camera, you have one perspective about what that world is. But boy, if you thought actors were low on the totem pole, screenwriters are even lower. And that's it's just an interesting thing to find out. But but directors aren't. So being a writer-director is a really interesting and privileged place to be. And I've had so much fun working on the shorts that I've done to date with really, really lovely groups of people on stories that have always meant a lot to me. Like I've never made a short that didn't have a really significant personal, connection or impact. And, building towards doing my first feature film, which it looks like we might actually be shooting this summer. We've now into, this is how the world has changed. We're now into huge discussions with CGI people and FX people to figure out how to deal with shooting scenes that should be, this movie is not a small movie. It's a big, like it's got big scenes in it and lots of people. And so trying to figure out how to shoot those scenes now is tricky. But I'm blessed with a really lovely producer and a fantastic production manager. You probably know Shauna Hatt.
Oh yes.
And so supportive and so helpful. And we're kind of determined to be the first out of the gate because we figure we can, you know, and we've got a good team building up a head of steam. And so
that's great. And is it so? Is it set and is it shooting? It's shooting in Halifax. Scheduled to shoot in Halifax. Actually,
it's going to shoot a big component of it will be shooting in Antigonish.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And then in the environs of Halifax. But as you can imagine, you know, it's going to be tricky where we shoot and how we shoot, because what we have to do is we have to create a kind of bubble of the cast and crew so that we don't have people going in and out of that bubble, you know, to keep people safe, because probably we're hoping we're going to start prep end of July, proper prep, and be shooting mid to late August into September, which is when people are planning for a second wave of COVID. So we just have to figure out how to do that and keep people safe. And, you know, mostly it'll be pretty good because we're only probably bringing about 3 people from out of province.
Right.
None from the States. They're all coming from Toronto. So, it's just, wow. It's
a crazy time to be planning anything, let alone anything creative right now that involves people working together. I wanted to show you, I've got a trailer of one of your shorts, I think, which is I can't see the title on the video clip that's right on my desktop here. So, which is the film that featured Rob Wells from Trailer Park Boys as well?
Oh yeah, and actually, Rob, I think I can still say this. I haven't spoken to him for a while, but Rob is going to be playing one of the leads in the feature.
Oh, great!
And it's basically a version of this character. So this is a film called Pearls. And this played in all over the world, 30 film festivals, won a lot of lovely prizes, and is the story of a young trans woman who has to leave home as a 17-year-old person to make their way in the world. And she's able to leave home in a way that she finally feels comfortable because of her mother's help. And a gift that her mother gives her when she leaves, which is a string of pearls.
Let's take a look.
Brandon, you deal with it. I'm going.
This can't go on, lovely boy.
But if he sees me, he'll kill me.
Oh, don't be silly. He won't kill you. They gave me those pearls for my 16th.
Do you miss him?
Every day.
Hello? Mom?
Please.
I probably should have given these to you sooner.
Hey, there's a change that's coming without warning. Dawn breaks, so the sun will rise.
Very cool. Very cool. It's nice to see Rob doing something other than Trailer Park Boys as well, which is
and he's really
he's
beautiful. This role, I imagined him in this role right from when I started writing, and it's you know, he's lovely in it. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, no doubt. Awesome. And so, what's the title of your feature? Is there a title? Are you allowed to share it?
Oh yeah. The title is Dawn, Her Dad, and the Tractor.
Oh, right.
And that's it.
There it is.
That's the very thing. Yeah, and it's set in Nova Scotia. The story of that young person returning home after a 5-year estrangement with her family, and after the death of her mom, to make peace with her father. And they begin to reconnect as they rebuild an antique tractor.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much, all three of you, for being here tonight. It's been so cool to see your faces and to hear your voices and to have a little chat. Shelley, of course, Neptune audiences will know that Shelley was playing one of our 2 leads in the play Calendar Girls at Neptune, which was the show that had just opened when all of this went down. And sadly, we had to cancel the rest of the run after only 12 performances, which was heartbreaking. I got to direct that show, and with an amazing team of performers, an amazing sequence. That was kind of heartbreaking, Shelley, eh? To finish, to get it up and running, and to just get into the stride.
Yeah, it was such a lovely experience. I've not been terribly keen about being on stage the last few years at all, and but the last few experiences I've had have been so good. This was fantastic, and working with Stuart Leger and Stephanie and Tom on the farm, really, I've sort of thought, oh, maybe I'm not done. Maybe I'm not done.
Yeah.
Yet.
I hope not. I hadn't heard that you were done. Don't be done.
Well,
we won't let you be done.
Yeah.
There's one more photo I want to show before we end with some music. There's one more photo I want to show. This is a photo that was taken in the photo booth at the Merit Awards a couple of years ago. And Shelley, I want to remind you that you still owe me.
Oh, that play.
So
I started that play. I have it somewhere, but.
So what happened here, folks, is that this photo was a random, well, not a random, it was a pose photo of a bunch of people, myself and Shelley included, and 3 very shiny, gorgeous folk in the background there. And I said, I think that's a play about an estranged couple, but they're actually getting back together, and the kids don't want, and the 3 daughters don't want them to get back together, or something like that. I can't remember what the idea was. And I said, Shelley, go and write it. Now I have a theater.
Yeah. Well.
So I'm just reminding you, as the artistic director of Neptune Theatre,
do it as a short.
No. I need a full 2-act, 90-minute.
Do you ever do plays? Are you going to do any plays as an actor? If it's ever.
Well, never say never. No, I like you. I think I got a little further along in the feeling of I'm kind of done with being on stage a few years ago, and it happened to coincide. This was about 2014. It coincided with becoming the artistic producer of Eastern Front, and I just had a really good year of some amazing roles that exhausted me mentally and physically. And I just thought, and learning the lines, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I stopped. Will I go back to it? Probably. But do I want to do it now? No. So. Anyway,
learning lines is hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, the worst bit.
But it's funny because I find like learning script for TV, mostly it just goes in really fast, and then you go, it's gone again.
Yeah, it's a different part.
It's like, it's hard.
Got to do it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to show this picture as well. That's our mutual friend, Sylvia Bell. Was she as one of your co-producers on one of your
No, she produced and production managed a short called Duck Duck Goose. Oh man, I could not have done it without her and her glorious laughter.
Right.
And it starred Francine de Schepper, who was just beautiful in it. And that
what was that
short went all around the world, and it was selected by Telefilm Canada for Clermont-Ferrand, and Francine is just fantastic in it.
Yeah. Well, big surprise. It's been fantastic to have you all here. So, T, thank you so much for sending along this video. We had to trim 3 seconds off the front, and I'm confessing to you, and the credits at the end, just to make it under exactly 5 minutes, which is what this streaming service dictates, because it was like 5 minutes and 8 seconds. We had to lose a few seconds. So with that in mind, I just wanted to mention that the video we're about to watch was shot, edited, and produced in isolation. Am I right in thinking? By
this was literally just before. I think we shot first.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Stick around so I can say goodbye to you privately afterwards, but and we'll all watch this together if I can find it. Here we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Off the Leash is taking a week-long hiatus because I'm on vacation right now, and I'm going to actually take a week off. And I think Neptune is planning on running some shows, some past episodes, because apparently we're already at the point where we're in syndication next week. This is episode 33. Can you believe it?
Wow.
I've talked to more people in this last 5 weeks than I have in my entire life. I don't think we've ever sat down and face-to-face and had this kind of conversation, the three of us, before. So it's been cool. So we're going to take a week off. And during that time, I've already got the guest booked for the next couple of weeks after I get back. We've got some pretty cool guests lined up as well. So I'll see you then. Have a great time. Be safe. Keep flattening that curve, everyone. And let's end with T. Thomason. T, what's this song called?
This is called King of Spades. It's the a cappella version.
Awesome. Here we go.
Queen of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. I'll keep you up at night, toss and I turn, and it's not right. I can't give the simple lie. Oh, it's a lot to be. I want you to want, but you can't need. You can't need me.